So this is going to be a shorter one. I have a, unfortunately, early start this morning, today. I was up in LA, and then tonight I'll be up and doing a shutdown at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's going to be rough. But I wanted to get into a lot of stuff that's going on. There was some masterful strokes by Trump with regards to Iran, and I wanted to kind of get into that because our system is set up a certain way with regards to War Powers Acts and so on. As well as, there was an interesting video, and if you have a chance to do it, I don't often recommend watching his videos, even though I'm not opposed to it per se. I do like watching his videos, but it's not always agreeing with him. But Ben Shapiro had an interesting take on Tucker Carlson, and I thought it was interesting because something he said was something that I had thought a long time ago. Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to The Ripple Effect. This is where we go behind the headlines to show you the impacts on your life and on your family, and in turn allow you to have an effect on those around you, giving you the ripple in your life. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, first off, there's still a lot of debate going on right now as to whether or not Iran actually managed to hit one of our ships or not. I don't know that as of this time it's still confirmed whether they actually hit one of our ships, but for sure they shot on one of the ships. There's a story in right now that Iran actually hit a missile into the UAE's only refinery that doesn't have to go through the Straits of Hormuz, so it's actually bottlenecking even more fuel that way, and we'll see how badly it's hit later. They are still determining that. I think there's 3 dead right now or injured from the hit from the missile, and we'll see again. It's not an accident that they hit that particular refinery. It's pretty clear as to what they're trying to do. They're trying to bottleneck it and give themselves the power back. It's like you give them a little bit of a bone and they instantly have to take it and go. Now, here is where they kind of screwed up a little bit. And that is, Trump had a ceasefire at mile marker 6, right? At the 6-week mark. And he was able to then say on the 60th day of this attack or fight or whatever you want to call it, that we actually have a ceasefire and that we are no longer in war. It's the War Powers Act thing. So he was able to circumvent that. Now, again, there was someone else was making an example of how the Democrats never follow that. Who cares? The Democrats are never held to the same standard. But Trump knows what would be said if he didn't stay on that standard. So he sent a letter to Congress basically saying we're not at war, we have a ceasefire for 2 weeks, and everything was going great, supposedly. And when they tried to go through the Strait of Hormuz, then they ended up getting fired upon. So badly that UK told all of its peoples that not to go through, and the Americans were fired upon. Whether they were hit is still being determined as of this point. So, why was that a masterful stroke from Trump? Because now Trump can go in to Iran again, and it's kind of a reset, at least a 60-day reset. Who knows if it just resets it, because there's some people saying that since we were attacked, it doesn't fall under the same category as, like, say, us going after them preemptively. We'll see. Either way, it kind of shows that Iran messed up a little bit. They overstepped. They're playing a little confident, and now is the time to nuke them. Figuratively. Trump used this kind of exact language when he talked about how we need to treat them and deal with them, and it needs to be harsh, and it needs to be quick, and it needs to be over. We've been playing a lot of things of tactical, right? Tactical hits. But I know this will have less impact on the election for us to have a small amount or even tactically boots on the ground than for them to still be involved in this are we not again thing when it comes to the midterm. The midterms may not be as bad as we suspect. However, this will greatly depend upon how everything goes in Iran, and we have to wrap things up. We have to clean things up. Now, what was I talking about with Tucker? So, I have never liked Tucker. There is not a single time I sat down and said, intentionally, I want to watch Tucker, except for one time. And it's funny because Ben Shapiro mentioned this on his show. He used to do a show where he would kind of bring in people that he didn't 100% agree with, and they'd have a sit-down conversation, and that's what the show would be. And I remember hearing this in the show where he talked about how he would use the power of government, deceptively if he had to prevent the automatic trucking, the basically Tesla trucks, right, from taking over the trucking industry and to prevent people from being kicked out. And what's funny is at the time I remember thinking, that's not really a free enterprise thing. And it's bothered me. I've literally thought about that ever since then. I've had that pop into my head when I thought about trucking and all that kind of stuff. I thought, man, I remember Tucker when he said that kind of thing. Well, Ben Shapiro said in his show, he goes, that's the moment I realized that he's not really on the conservative side. And what's funny is I did too. It didn't take a lot of brain cells to realize if you're saying that kind of thing, and not only are you saying that you would enact this, but that you would be deceptive and lie about how you'd go about doing it, it says a lot about who you are. Now, Tucker has obviously gotten wilder and wilder and crazier and crazier. And it's at the point now where, I mean, he was just destroyed. I think by the New York Times, the lady sat down with him, and she was asking him over and over again all kinds of different things about things that he had actually said. And he would get cooked. And I wish I had it to show you guys. Still, I have not had time, and I apologize, guys, for my subscribers. I apologize that I've not had time to dive into it yet. If you guys can get me like, a couple million subscribers, and I'll, be able to hire someone to do it. So, hey, goals. But he would say things, and the lady would say, well, when you said this, and he goes, oh, I never said that. I don't know what you're talking about. And it was so blatantly obvious that he did that it was over the top. Let's just put it that way. It was very, very obvious that that it was a lie. Now, I wanted to pivot kind of from Tucker and mention something that's kind of a pet peeve. And again, I'm only going to do a short video today. I'm in a really big hurry. I want to get some rest before I have to go. And I think this was an interesting story, and so I wanted to bring it to you. So there's a mom, and not far from me. She's in Orange County, and she is being and you will know instantly. I say what this is. You will know the social contagion that these are, and it's kind of so hard. So that is kids on those electric bikes. Kids on electric bikes, and I'm going to sit back a little bit here for this one because I kind of want to talk about this. So if you've driven anywhere in America, and I don't know if it's the same way overseas, those of you that are overseas, my parents will have to tell me if it's the same over there, but they are everywhere now, and they may be different because overseas it's very much a walking kind of society, buses, all that kind of public transportation. But in America here, they are everywhere. They're wild. There's so many of them. It's like I've driven. I've been on college campuses and whatever. And you're driving. You have a backup camera. You have a backup beeper. You have everything. And people just blow by you with those things. They're just nuts. No control. No nothing. And the scooters too. But electric bikes specifically. In fact, there's a pizza place they would like to go to. It's not that far from here. It's like near the Del Marsh area, and it's like in this kind of a more ritzy area. And you just roll in to these spaces, and it's kind of like a California thing where they build like residential above a lot of the commercial areas, and so there's so many kids in these areas. And again, it's so hard to say this because you're like six of one has half a dozen of another, so half of you wants to say yes, it's good for them to be outside doing something, but I mean also it's not quite what we did as kids. When we were kids, we were like literally biking, pedaling to go places, but you want them outside. You're not opposed to that. But when they're zipping in and out around traffic and acting like they have the right of way or not even paying any attention to traffic, you realize there's going to be a problem. Now, where does this end? Well, there was a Orange County mom who is now arrested, and she's being charged with 2 felony counts because her teenage son, struck and killed, and allegedly, of course, they say allegedly, but it's pretty clear he did it, struck and killed an 81-year-old Vietnam veteran while illegally riding an electric motorcycle. And this is the problem. A lot of these bikes are not legal for children. Not legal for someone under the age of 16 if they don't have a driver's license, whatever, right? And a motorcycle license specifically. Technology is good. Technology is wonderful. But sometimes we have to understand that there needs to be limits and controls. And the saddest part, I think, about this whole thing is that here's this mother, and she's not a great person. She's a terrible person. She's like lied defending him, saying that we don't have an electric bike. I don't know what you're talking about. My son could never have hit somebody because he didn't have a bike, and it's all caught on camera, so they can't really deny it. But it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that we live in a society that would tell this mother that if she disciplined her child in a way that the government didn't like, and I'm not even talking about abuse, but I'm just talking about disciplining them in ways that the government didn't like, They could potentially take her son away, but now she's being held responsible for him having killed someone. Again, she facilitated this, so I understand the situation. But we have so many questions with regards to these kind of things. What is the best policy for this? And this is not a Candace asking questions kind of moment. This is me just saying legitimately, what is a good idea? Can you put it down in the comments? Let's go for it. What is the best idea for these electric bikes? Is it creating more spaces that are designed for these? There's a lot of spaces already designed for these. So what do we do more? How can we go about doing better ways of doing this? How can we encourage young people to be outside better? Is what Europe is doing now too, where they're saying if you're under a certain age, you can't have social media a great thing? I kind of agree. I kind of think it's a good idea. Force them to be outside. Don't let them have the tech. Don't let your kids just sit in front of all the garbage that just rots their brains. There's a special thing that we have, and we're the last generation to have it, the millennials, really, where we got to grow up mostly in a world that was unpolluted by social media and excessive Wi-Fi and phone, all that kind of stuff. And I'm very grateful for that because it gives you a different perspective on all this stuff that's happening. But what do you guys think? I'll give you the name of the. Let's see if I can pull up the name of the lady so you guys can look it up if you're interested. It doesn't say. It does. Oh, okay. So her name is Tommy Jo Mayer of Aliso Viejo, and if you want to look it up, it's in the California Post has a thing from it about it. Let me know. What do you think? What should we do about that? And what controls can we really put in to prevent someone from doing this? And the kid was doing wheelies. He was driving on the road, hit the 81-year-old who was walking home. He was like a substitute teacher. It's a sad story. Obviously, kids are going to play around. I did wheelies on my bike. Of course, it wasn't as dangerous as one of these electric bikes that can do like 60 miles plus an hour. What's the answer? I don't know. That's the answer. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If we can just get one more subscriber a week, it'd be nice. Let's try that. Go ahead and share this out and see who can who will bite. Thank you so much. Have a good day.